What's up, TechHeart? We are still going on this Omarchy train and we're not slowing down anytime soon. Today, we're going to take a different approach. We already have Omarchy 3.0 installed and we're going to look together at customizing it, changing some of the themes, digging into the Omarchy config, and seeing how it all works. We'll change some of the default applications. We'll modify some of the .conf files. We'll do multi-monitors. I'll show you how to add a multi-monitor even in a vertical orientation and a whole lot more. Are you guys loving Omarchy? Because I still am. Let's dive into it together. Let's go! Wait, that was wrong. Hold on. Let's go! Don't cancel me. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the documentation. We can go in here to Learn and Omarchy. And don't worry, if you want to skip through this, just go check the timestamps and you can go right on to when we configure and change Omarchy. However, it's really cool that D.H.H and the Omarchy team has given us an actual manual. Makes everything really easy. From getting started, which we've already installed, to navigation. How do we get around Omarchy? Everything on Omarchy happens via the keyboard. Wonderful. If you need the application launcher, it's just Super and space. If you want the menu, it's Super Alt space. And this Omarchy menu is really cool. You can do a lot of stuff from config files to installing software to setup and everything. The way a tiling window manager works is, let's open a terminal, and there we have side by side. You can do super and arrows to select which window you need. You can see the highlight is changing there. I think you can do super shift and arrow to swap. Super J will stack horizontally. I'm not going to open up 4 windows, but it's showing you how to jump around. One thing I will show is that to jump around the different workspaces up here, you can do super and the number. So now I'm on workspace 2, back to workspace 1. But if you're on a window, so make sure you highlight the window that you want to go to, and if you do super shift 2, that brings that browser over to workspace 2. Now if I do super 1, you can see I'm using different workspaces now. We can close windows with super W. So if I go to that workspace 1, super W, bye-bye. And super V turns a window into free floating. And since I only have one window, it doesn't show the actual way that would work. Super V makes a floating window. The browser's too big, so it looks wonky. But you get the idea, hopefully. We have many themes. We can get to them with Super Alt Space and I think Style and Themes. We can switch to tons of different themes. We're on Tokyo Note right now. We can go to Kanagawa real quick, and then I'll go over to Workspace 1 so you can see that change. But you can go right back with Theme, Tokyo Night, Bob's your uncle. Now one thing I noticed is that we can add other themes. Let's open this. And we can install any of these by going to Install Style Theme in the Omarchy menu, pasting the GitHub URL. So let's find one that we like. Gold Rush is pretty cool. That's the GitHub link, I think. So let's copy the link. Boom. And let's go in here. If I open that theme menu again, there it is. We go to Install Style Theme. So we go to Install Style Theme. And we'll have to paste that GitHub link for Gold Rush. Let's see if we can get that on. Look at that. Bob's your uncle, and it automatically switches to Gold Rush. We can go see it right there. That's pretty awesome. Here's all of our hotkeys. We can always get those just by pushing Super K. They pop right up. But this is a little easier to handle or see. That's cool. Super Escape brings up your logout options. Control Alt Delete closes all windows. F11 always lets us go full screen. Boom. And again, Super Shift and a number moves that window to a different workspace. This is a cool one. Let's open up the terminal here. And now if I go to the browser and I push Super Plus, it grows the window. Super Minus shrinks the window. Close that right down again. And Super Shift, equal or plus, grows from the bottom and top. Here's all of our app hotkeys. Super B for the browser. Look Look at that, Super Shift B for a private incognito browser. We get Spotify with M. Here's something I want to change today. Super slash currently brings up 1Password, but over here we use Bitwarden. So we'll have to get in the setup later and change that out. ChatGPT with Super A. Boom, and it's nice and quick. YouTube with Super Y. I know that one because I've already logged in. NeoVim with N, email with E. We can change that too because Omarchy uses Hey, which is a Signal 39 product, so that makes sense that they use Hey for email and calendar. But we could change that to Google Services pretty easy. Many messenger options, and that's cool with G, Super Shift G, Super Alt G. Lazy Docker is really nice for Docker. It lets us manage all of our Docker containers, images, volumes, etc. That's Lazy Docker, and I like it. Obsidian is a note-taking app. I don't have much experience with it, but I might give it a shot. It groups your notes into vaults or folder vaults, but I'm not too aware of it. You can always get your tweets with Super X. And it mentions that we can change our bindings in .config/hyper-bindings.conf. So super easy, we can change our bindings. And yeah, this really tells us all about it. Super comma to dismiss a notification. Super shift comma, dismiss all notifications. Oh, here's one. Control super space. Let me go over to workspace 2. Control super space changes between the different backgrounds available for any theme. I only have 2 here. And heck, I like this for Gold Rush. Toggle transparency on a window, super backspace. Oh, that won't work with the browser. Guess I could open this. Super backspace. Maybe that's only for certain apps. I'm not sure. There's a nice feature, Control Super I, toggles idle sleep. So if you press that, stop locking computer when idle. So your computer will never go into the lock screen if you're working on something, and you can turn it back off so it will lock. Control Super N for nighttime display. So warms it down. And you can even toggle the top bar with Shift Super Space. Just if you need a little more real estate. Shift Super Space. That's nice. I like in the file manager, you can just press Control L, and then you can type in any path to the whole system. So if you need to get something down in the root directory or otherwise. We won't go over Apple controls. And NeoVim is its own thing. We have NeoVim with LazyVim installed, so it's highly themed and customized. Also, that was neat. We have Super Control E, pulls up an emojis, and you can find quick emojis, nice and easy. Same thing here. You can do a caps lock space N, and it puts the name that you entered at the beginning. Caps lock space E gives you your email address that you entered. So really neat. Do we want to cover the applications installed? I mean, I'll do it quickly. We have NeoVim with LazyVim. Shell tools, we have Man, Fuzzy Finder, Zoxide, RipGrep, Ezza, that's replaced with LS. FDFind is one of my favorite tools to quickly find any file, even if you don't know where it is. We also have these shell functions. So if we do a compress, it'll tar up a folder. We have image to JPEG, small JPEG, PNG. And I did find one misspelling. You see over here where it says format disk? Well, that doesn't work. It's actually format drive. Be careful with that one. That'll format a drive really quickly, but useful if you know what you're doing. So for TUIs, we have LazyGit, Lazy Docker. That one's cool. I showed it before. That is a nice way to manage your Docker containers. BTOP, well, how do we get that? Super T, yeah. Super T brings up BTOP. Impala for Wi-Fi connections. I've never seen that. And Fast Fetch will give you system information, like so. For GUIs, we have that Obsidian we talked about. Pinta is a basic image editor, and it looks pretty nice. I don't know why we wouldn't have just went with Git, but Pinta does basic picture editing stuffs. Local send, I love local send. It's a way to send files to any computer on your network, and it's really nice. I also noticed local send, there's a way to do it within Omarchy, but I don't see it here. I saw it somewhere else in the documentation. LibreOffice, Signal, MPV, OBS Studio, Kdenlive, and 1Password. I'm going to change that. Typora is a nice way to type. Dropbox, Tailscale, Spotify. For Spotify, I think it's just M. For music, yeah, Super M. And for our development tools, NeoVim is the main editor because there's so many add-ons. The terminal is Alacrity, but we can change it to Ghosty or Kitty. And for either Ghosty or Kitty, it'll be in all the themes too. So there will be those nice colors and theme settings, no matter what terminal you decide to use. Oh, there's a little note. Leave Alacrity installed because for like Omarchy update or some control panels, it still uses Alacrity. So if you uninstall that, Omarchy might break a little. Docker's under there. And GitHub CLI. We can use the documenter to fill out PDFs or external++ if we have to notate those PDFs. I don't think I'm going to cover all this. ChatGPT, WhatsApp X, YouTube, those are the web apps. For gaming, you can install Steam, RetroArch, or Minecraft. Okay, the configuration, this will be good to check out. Normally, all dot files for Hyprland are in .config/hyper, and they are here too. There also are Omarchy config files in .local/share/Omarchy. However, future updates might change or break that, so we really want to let Omarchy handle the .local.share stuffs. Fonts, I'm not going to cover this. I love the font. Who cares? For monitors, we will be looking at this. I can show you real quickly. I have made one small edit, so if I neovim .config hyper monitors, I can blow that up a little bit. You can see that I've added this line right here because I'm using a capture device. So my capture device was named HDMI-A-2. I have it mirroring my main laptop display. We'll show that later too. We can go down here to setup, and for monitors, that would pull up that monitors.conf we just looked at. Keybindings. I want to look at input real quick. Okay, I'm going to blow that up a little bit for you. Here's where we can change all the input stuff. If you want to make your cursor go really fast, you can change the repeat rate. Your cursor goes a lot faster. Or slow down your delay. I'll just do that quicker. I even like it a little bit faster than that. There we go. Maybe 250, huh? 280. There we are. I like natural inversed scrolling, so I can just remove this hash mark, and now when I swipe my trackpad up, the window will go down. It's hard to explain, but I like it that way. If I go down here too, I have a trackpad, so I'm going to uncomment gesture equals 3 for horizontal workspaces, and now I can do 3-finger swipes for the workspace, or I can do super 2, super 1. Either way, I like to have that option. Let's dive in and change one of the applications. So right now, if I do super slash, it brings up 1Password, but that doesn't work for me. So we're going to have to use the terminal. We can go over here to install, and I think it's a package, and we're going to search for Bitwarden. This is really nice too. I forget what application this is that lets you view packages for Arch Linux in this TUI. I've used it before, and it's nice. So yeah, there is a Bitwarden package. Let's install that. Got our TechHeart password. So we'll get Bitwarden installed. Okay, now let's go to remove package. Is it just 1Password? Yeah. Okay, it looks like we have both 1Password CLI and 1Password beta installed. So I'll remove that first. Okay, and then I'll go remove the main one. 1Password. Okay, we'll get that removed. Now we'll have to go to, I think, setup maybe? Keybindings. Here's the password. Okay, so it uses UWSM app 1Password. So I think I should just be able to change this with Bitwarden, unless it has some weird name. Now let's do super slash. Okay, command not found Bitwarden, that's okay. Oh, Bitwarden dash desktop. Easy enough. Bitwarden dash desktop. Super slash. Boom. Here's Bitwarden. Now, since this is for YouTube, I'm not going to do my Bitwarden setup on screen, but you get the picture. Let's also do that for, and here I'll just show it with the terminal. Let's change Chromium to Brave browser. So we can just do I think our system uses yay. Yeah, that's correct. So we can do a yay -R on Chromium. Maybe they used Google Chrome. Yay -R on Google Chrome. Well, I guess I won't use the terminal. Let's go in here to remove and search for Chrome. Oh, Omarchy Chromium. That was right. Omarchy forked Chromium so that they made it exactly how they liked it. But I don't want nothing to do with that anyway, so I'm going to uninstall Omarchy-Chromium. Yeah, D.H.H forked Chromium, I'm sorry, and made some changes that he thought he needed for Omarchy. Okay, now for Brave. Let's go to install. We'll go to AUR, I think it's an AUR, and let's search for Brave. Yeah, we have Brave or Brave Bin. I think Brave Bin will be a quicker install, so let's use Brave Bin. And we'll let that install.
Go, 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 go.
Okay, we'll give it a password.
Go, 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 yeah.
And yeah, now Brave's installed. So if I do a Super B, nice. Again, I'm not going to set up Brave, but there it is, changed. I'm going to open up a terminal, bigger for you guys. We're going to move into config hyper, and we're going to neo vim bindings. Up here, our browser is Omarchy-launch browser. And down here, the Super B just points to that. So, Omarchy-launch browser. I believe if I go to .local share Omarchy bin, and I do an ls on Omarchy launch browser. Okay, I see it. Let's cat that out. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. Default browser, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it says Firefox, Zen, or LibreWolf. There's no mention of Chromium, and there's no mention of Brave browser. However, it talks about XDG-settings, and then get default web browser. And I'm assuming, since Brave is now the only browser that we have installed, because we uninstalled Chrome, or Chromium, that the XDG settings are automatically pulling the Brave browser, because that's what I have installed. What do you guys think? Is that the correct answer? At any rate, I don't have to change Omarchy settings, and Brave seems to just work. So we've changed a couple applications. We have our Bitwarden loading, and our browser is now Brave. Nice! We've proven that we can install different themes. Right here we have Gold Rush that we installed and what we're looking at. What's trigger? Oh, we can trigger capture, share, or toggle. That's the toggle idle? Oh, we can toggle a lot of stuff. Nice. What else can we get into? All right, for the next part, we're going to look at multi-monitors. Do note that our laptop is Omarchy and the vertical Dell 24-inch is Omarchy. Let's dive on in and see if we can get that vertical monitor set up correctly. Right now you can kind of make out that it's in the wrong orientation. Let me try to show that a little bit better by changing the theme back to Tokyo Night. And yeah, you can much more easily see the orientation. So I'm going to open up a terminal. Ooh, and it's mirrored too. Okay, I can tell why. Hang on a second. Let's run hyperctl monitors all. From here, I can scroll up. There's HDMI A2. That was my capture card. Oh yeah, okay, so I see why. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I told you I changed the capture card settings. So if I do an nvim on .config hyper monitors.conf, we can see this is my old setting for my capture card. So I'm going to comment that out. And now if I write that, we lose the other monitor temporarily. I'm just going to make a comment here. Vertical monitor, Dell 24-inch. And we'll insert monitor equals HDMI-A-2, comma, I'll do preferred, comma, 0 by 0. And that's what'll put that as the left monitor. So when we move our trackpad to the left, the cursor will go right over there. We'll put it in the 0, 0 position. Auto. And now we have to also add a transform, comma 1. That should make it in vertical orientation. And Bob's your uncle, now we have that in the right orientation. Let's test our mouse. Here it is here. If I go left, yeah, it shows up on the other monitor. So that is all set up. So by adding that second monitor line, we can do dual monitors. And we could open up a browser over here. And Bob's your uncle. Multi-monitor setup, baby. I'll meet you back on the screen cap. Boo! Okay, to round it out, let's talk about some other more nuanced things. If we go back into the Omarchy manual, and we'll scroll down here to the FAQ, the FAQ. Here we go, the FAQ. It talks about different things, or littler things you can customize. If you need to switch between keyboard layouts, we can edit the input.conf and do so. If you need a French or non-US keyboard, I like this one. Let's change our clock to a 12-hour. Now this will get us into editing other helper apps, like waybar is what controls that top bar up there. So we'll have to modify the waybar config.json, and we'll take its clock section, and we're going to change the formatting. Let me select this, get it copied. Okay, and for that, we will go into the waybar config. Okay, and we can neovim its config.json, and we'll have to look over here for the clock section. Here we are right here, and I see the format line. I'll try to paste a new one. There it is. So that means I should be able to remove this one, and we'll have to get the formatting right. So when I save this, and I'll have to restart waybar, which we could probably do with pkill waybar and waybar and. Did that fail? Let me try to run waybar. Well, I'm an idiot. Ah, look at that, guys. I had missed the comma. Everything's got to be perfect. And there you go. Now we have 12-hour formatted clock. Oh boy. At any rate, just to go back over that, we changed that format line, but when I pasted it, I missed the comma. So everything's got to be perfect, and it would have just worked. Using that waybar example, we could edit the other helper apps that Omarchy uses, like the lock, or the application runner. One other thing, I like the terminal kitty. Remember, we need to keep Alacrity installed, but I could just install kitty. Here it is. And then we could edit the keybinds, I think. And we're looking for the terminal, which is right up here. Okay, that's set to a variable terminal. So let's check the documentation. It talked about terminals. Was it in other packages? I don't think so. Okay, the terminal. You can switch either of the two optional choices using install terminal, and that'll set it to the default terminals. So when I did install, I should have looked down here for terminal. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll select it now, install kitty. And then there's a script that'll take care of it. Now, when I run, I should be using kitty. Yeah, it looks like I am. However, if I go do like an update, I'll just do Omarchy. The system uses Alacrity. Pretty quickly, guys, we're editing this system, and I think we showed a lot of stuff. How to change different GUI applications, how to change different web browsers, how to modify some of the .conf files, and there's a lot more that you can do. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Was this video good? Did it help you at all? And what changes are you going to make to your Omarchy 3.0? Till next time, TechHeart out!
Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.